this week, actually, yes, today, I read about a way more embarrassing poop experience. So
really?
There was a flight
poor man.
There was a Delta flight, I think, to Barcelona, maybe out of Atlanta. In any case, someone shit themselves in their seat, it seems, and then got up and thought, oh, let me make it to the bathroom, and continued to shit themselves as they ran the length of the aircraft. It's a big boy aircraft, by the way. We're going to Italy or whatever, Barcelona, Spain. It isn't a small plane. So this person's jogging for a while, shitting as they go.
Are
everywhere.
they fat?
Oh.
The quote was, the passenger, quote, had diarrhea throughout the aircraft, which created a biohazard and a threat to the passenger's health. So they turned around 2 hours into the flight, came back, and they had to clean the aircraft, everybody to get off. New plane for everybody. Who knows what happened to the flight? But here's
I am opening that door and jumping out. I'm just
so embarrassing.
Just leave. Just gonna
for 2 hours after the incident. Yeah, at some point the captain goes, it turns out one of y'all shit themselves back there. We're going to be heading on back to Atlanta. How do you say, sorry, I shit myself in Spanish? Am I right?
That's something none of you are going to need to know today.
And then everybody who's already smelling your shit and is like freaked out because you scared their kids while you shit the plane, and everybody freaked out. Now they're looking at you like, you've ruined my vacation. I have exactly 8 days off from work. Who knows?
Maybe so, but when I turn the plane
people.
around, I feel like I got my money's worth.
How many more hours would you have to sit in a shit-laden plane? Like,
it must have happened right at the start of the flight. Because if it's like a 6-hour flight and I'm 2 hours in, I might be inclined to go the 4.
Honestly,
take a vote.
I'd rather just tear through it. If it's a 6-hour flight and you're 2 hours in, that's cruel to turn it around. You're already in the mix.
Give me that mortician stuff that they put on their nose, like in Silence of the Lambs for dead bodies. Just hand it out. Let's go.
Yeah. They could at least make snacks, or I guess you probably wouldn't want to eat.
I think their point would be that it's like
worst idea. Just feed everyone on the biohazard plane.
There will be
free
no
red wine
meal
for the plane.
I'm gonna let you know there's not gonna be an in-flight meal.
We're gonna hope that the cumulative red wine breath covers
what would be
up
the worst food? Just like pecan pie,
goulash,
curry.
For dinner this evening, we have a lovely goulash with a chocolate pudding.
Did they get a picture of the person who did this? Was it a man or a woman? Do we know anything?
I guarantee somebody was like, "This the motherfucker right here. This is the shit pants motherfucker that's got me ruining my trip to Spain." Somebody had to have done that because they always do. I don't know if it was a man or a woman or white. I don't know zero about the perpetrator.
How did this stay under wraps?
This is like who shot Mr. Burns.
It is, and it's going to end up being fucking some stupid answer like Maggie. I bet it's not even a big fat obese guy, which is what I would imagine.
God, that's so.
Can we see I know there's a picture of the shit trail. Can we figure out how fat they are based on the wobbling of the shit trail going up to the bathroom?
There is a video of the shit trail. When I saw the video of the shit trail, that's when I knew it was the right move to turn around, because the plane has been
Zach, find a photo of the shit trail. We can't show it, I'm sure, but link it so we can look at it.
Because it's one of the planes that has a center row of seats as well. And so there's 2 aisles essentially. And so the cameraman is in one aisle walking up the aircraft, filming the other aisle that's got a few seats between, and it's just shit, more shit. And there's people that put stuff on top of the shit so you don't have to look at the shit. So there's paper towels everywhere, and like there's so much shit. It is not like, oh, had a little accident here. It's like, you shit the whole plane, dude. You've ruined a 757.
Damn. So he by the time he got to the bathroom, he was done.
I don't know. From what I read, once he got to the bathroom, he made an even bigger mess in there.
Oh, you'd have to get the police to get me out of that bathroom after I'd gotten in there. I would lock myself
everyone
in there.
Gone?
They'd be like, "Sir, we are going to arrest you when we land the plane if you do not come out." And I'm like, "Please bag me, bag me, bag me and drag me through the airport. Tell them I'm something cooler than a shit bandit.
Tell them I spit. Tell him I spit. Give me that hood.
Tell him I'm a bio threat. Don't say what kind, please.
Dude,
now,
he's so embarrassing.
Looking at the trail, you can almost hear the bursts as they were walking. Perhaps they took too big of a stride, but there are definitely like paintball. It's not a stream like somebody's, dumping out, I don't know, like a pesticide or something. It's like they're dropping bombs on their run up to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Dude, this picture that you linked, I know you can't show it because it's got shit. It is taking so many paper towels to cover up the small section we're looking at. And you can see a lot of shit peeking under that paper towel and that
there
one.
Was so much shit.
And it's not a smattering. It's a full smear. Like that.
That person was sick, and they must have had a lot of like a bbig colon or something. I couldn't poop that much. That'd be a record for me.
That's so much. Divert to Atlanta, passenger diarrhea all over.
You're muted, Kyle.
All over. Man, what a terrible day at work for everyone. A terrible day of vacation.
There's got to be some on the ceiling too. You think like anybody freaked out and flung it up, so you can't discount it. You can't be a cleaner and go like, well, isn't he? No, there's none on the ceiling. Like, I don't think you know that. I don't think you would. You bet your life on it? No,
I wouldn't bet my life on. And I would be alarmed to be just breathing in all of that guy's recycled shit air forever. Like that. They should drop the oxygen thing.
Yeah,
just as a courtesy at that point, honestly.
Just for fun. Like, you know what? You guys wanted to see this thing go off your whole lives. Just for dealing with the shit, we're going to drop the oxygen thing.
We're going to drop the oxygen, get you a little better mood. You're breathing.
You're going to go down the slide when we get back home. You know?
It was like all over aircraft.
This plane is fucked, obviously.
We're not cushion as a flotation device. You wanted to see it.
Did they give them like moccasins to walk out, like those little hospital booties or anything, so they could slide?
I doubt they did that. I bet people were walking very carefully out of this plane. That's terrible. You're right, Kyle. That is the most embarrassing poop story I can imagine. Like being locked in a plane with someone.
Yeah, you can't get away.
You're not going to fucking Cleveland. You just ruined a flight to Spain. People are so excited. They're in a good mood. And now they're not.
Do you think like Chipotle and stuff is that they have like spies trying to figure out which fast food caused this so they can disavow it as quickly as possible? Like, do you think Taco Bell and Chipotle and Arby's all have agents in the field trying to ask them who they had last so they can blame it on them?
False flag it? Yeah.
We're
removing Popeyes from the terminal after a critical accident.
I saw an awesome poop video today too, which doesn't happen very often, but here's what was happening. It looked like we were in China because everyone was Asian and they were playing basketball. Kids are playing basketball and there's an adult supervising. Just a dude watching the kids play basketball. They're maybe 8, 9.
Mm-hmm.
This one kid sort of skips into the square and he's going to make a layup attempt and just full on lays a turd right there on the court and just keeps skipping and hopping away like he didn't just lay a big turd. But as soon as it plops on the floor, I mean, almost immediately, a basketball comes down and hits the shit right in the middle. I mean, right bullseye. And the shit goes splat and like sprays everywhere. And the adult sees the whole thing go down. And you just watch his expression, him going, shit's exploded. That child ran away. The shit has exploded. There's shit everywhere. He sort of smiles, turns around and leaves.
Yeah.
It's so good.
He's like, I'm a volunteer coach, so I'm going home.
Kid shit, and then the ball just sprayed everywhere.
You know what would have helped a lot? Shit. Burning a candle helps with poop smells a ton.
It would, but I bet they don't allow burning candles on a plane.
One day only. Smoke them if you got them. Anybody's got a cigarette, we're lighting up all the way fucking home. Rules off today.
Oh my God. The guy with a full pack of cigs in that case, you're like, yeah, cigarette guy. Keep smoking. You can do it. Keep
something about
he's got the whole pack in his mouth.
Yes.
Like if you have giant flatulent dogs, hypothetically, like a burning scented candle, it's magic against that.
Yeah. I bet those dogs are awful.
They were not prepared for that. I bet they did not have
a room.
I bet they didn't have a contingency plan, or like there was nothing in the manual for how to deal with it. I bet there's like plans for a reasonable amount of shit that like a baby missed the diaper or something. But there's no way that they had a contingency plan for an adult man, not only not having the wherewithal to hold his bowels, but thinking it was a good idea to spread it about in the midst of shitting. What do you do if you start shitting your pants in the middle of a plane? Do you get up and sprint?
I mean, honestly, who knows what you do?
I take my cyanide.
It's got to be the scariest thing. That's nothing's. Yeah. All right, let's get that molar out. Goodbye. I thought it was going to be something else, huh?
I wasn't pooping, but I was on the airplane. This is like, I don't know, 10 years ago, and I got air sick. This is a problem that I sometimes run into, especially if I'm not well rested. And there's a line to the bathroom, but I know I'm going to throw up. But it's a matter of time. This is going on.
Yeah.
And I asked the line if I could go next. And they looked at me with like beads of sweat coming down my pale face. And all of them were like, yep, you to the front. So I think I'd try to pull something like that.
Have you used the bags before when you couldn't get up?
I have used those. Yeah. It's terrible.
Oh,
and the worst part of it is I feel like an imposition on the people around me. Like, everyone had to listen to me get sick. I'm worried that the bag's not airtight or something like that. It's awful.
We were on that little aircraft flying from Burlington, Vermont to Killington, Vermont, or wherever. And we were losing and gaining dozens of feet of altitude in a snowstorm, up and pulling my seat. My hands under my seat, pulling to keep my ass in it because we're up and down like that.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody taps me on the shoulder. I can't hear the people behind me because the aircraft's too loud. It's a snowstorm. And I look back and they go, JJ's sick. And I'm like, I look way back through he's in the back of the plane and he's green. This little fucker looks, and he's like making faces and waving. And I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with him? He's got to piss and he's got to puke. 2 bags, no, 3. And I went, like, the pilot has the vomit bags, and I'm like, oh, they need 3 vomit bags. He's like, is he shitting? I'm like, no, they say he's puking and pissing. He's like, let me know if he starts shitting. I see the bags back. And I didn't find it to be embarrassing at all. Like, I didn't feel, because we were on a roller.
Yeah, I'd feel really bad for someone that happened to.
Yeah.
Like, that would suck.
I had the thought at some point where I was like, I can either be afraid of this or enjoy it, because whether I live and die, I don't have any control over. So let's just pretend like this is a fun little adventure. But it was kind of shaky there for a while, kind of dicey, as Brendan Schaub would say. It was a little rough.
I've never
been
had
on a
to
plane
shit
like that too. I was just going off the coast of California from, I don't know, like Santa Barbara to San Francisco or something, like a short little flight on a little plane. And the turbulence was so bad. Like, ladies' purses were hitting the ceiling on the plane and stuff like that.
Nice.
And I wasn't super sick on that one, but I was scared. I spent the whole flight trying to cover how scared I really was. I never been on a plane that
you have family with you?
No, I was by myself. I was just trying to not
be a man.
I guess, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there was a guy, he just had the vibe about him that he was a really frequent traveler, like a traveling salesman or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never been on a plane that small. And I asked him, like, is this normal? And the way he answered was like, no. No. I was like, fuck, if this guy's concerned, then we all should be.
I don't know planes, but I would say this plane had maybe 6 or 8 seats in it. And when we put the luggage in, he was weighing it. He was like, little bit on this side, little bit on that side. And then he was like, who weighs the most out of our group? And I looked around and it was like mostly women and I was like, me. And he's like, you're my co-pilot, because the heaviest goes in the front.
Really?
Yeah.
I had the opposite experience.
I held the checklist.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I was on a vacation once as a kid, and we were whitewater rafting down the Grand Canyon, and you get there by helicopter that soars through the Grand Canyon, like just the thing sideways, bank and turns in the Grand Canyon. And they're like, who's the lightest? And it was me. I'm like 14 or something, and 6 years from puberty. So I didn't know why they were asking, but the lightest person sat in the front, which was neat because there was glass, because you can see really well up front, but also there was glass by your feet, so you can see down, and the whole scene I was lucky to be in front.
Yeah, for sure. Front's always better. Roller coasters, everything. The only time it's not best to be in the front would be like a limo, right? Can you think of any other time you don't want to be in the front?
I think the back seat in the roller coaster is also good. I don't know what's better.
It does a different kind of inertial thing.
Yeah, buses on school trips. Everybody was having fun on the back of the bus because the teacher wasn't back there, and when the driver goes too fast over the speed bumps on the back of the bus, you get some air.
Okay, when you're a child, the back of the bus is a great place. But now, as a man grown, was the back of the bus truly where you'd like to be?
I want to be on
next to the toilet. No.
Yeah, no, I haven't been on a bus
unless you want to score. Maybe you want to score some meth. Then that's probably the place to be.
Yeah, I don't want to hang out.
I don't know. I've honestly never been on one of those buses. We've got a friend that has bussed all over the goddamn country and trained, like taking trains, passenger trains. I've just kind of driven and taken planes everywhere I've gone. So like those alternatives, I don't know anything about them. The idea of having a toilet in the back of the bus and me and all these degenerates are just shitting in it all day, every day on a long ass cross country thing, like that Anthony Cumia trip they had to make because his shitty ass father sold the plane tickets.
Yeah.
Oh, all the way from Cali to New Jersey on a bus. Fuck that.
Didn't Anthony say it took weeks like to get from,
they ran out of money
from like San Cupertino to Brooklyn. Like it's an absurd distance.
They spent what money they had on marijuana, so they just starved and got high the whole way home. Like they were kids. Then the dad again sold their plane tickets that mom had bought to get them home.
He's got great childhood stories.
Bought them bus tickets instead. Kept the difference. Piece of shit.
His dad was shockingly a bad father in some of his stories.
Anthony was like 11 or 12 in that story, and it's after his dad had bought him the whore.
Anthony, like that's one of the great O&A stories. He talks about Buzz, who was like an 18-year-old like stable prostitute, and on his 13th birthday his dad was just like, here you go, and he's like, yeah, and so when I was 13 I fucked a prostitute named Buzz in a stable. And it's like, that was probably weird for your development.
All right, I have a couple questions. What is a stable prostitute? This is like the horse stables is where
yeah
okay, and Buzz, this is her girl's name? Buzz?
Purportedly, yes.
Okay.
Like from Home Alone.
Yeah.
That wasn't a girl.
Buzz's girlfriend. Woof.
Yeah, that was a good scene. Good Home Alone scene. They used a fat little boy because they didn't want to hurt the girl's feelings. That's very
director's
nice.
Son. It's
the director's
son or his nephew. It really is. He's like, what was I going to do? Cast an ugly girl and be like, I need a picture of an ugly girl to make fun of in my movie. So I dressed my son up in a wig and a dress, and like, you'll be the ugly girl. He loved it.
That is funny.
We took some ferries around. We went to Greece last month, and we took ferries from island to island, thinking it would be like romantic and fun. Mm-hmm. And about 20 minutes into the first one, one guy started throwing up, which started like an avalanche of guys throwing up who were using the bathroom was like just out of reach or maybe occupied. So they're using one of those like a trash can as a spittoon going back and forth for the first 20 minutes, one after the other. It got so bad that it was past gross that it started just being funny. So you're trying to stifle laughing because they sound like the Budweiser frogs going. But you don't want to laugh, and then it's kind of contagious. But then it got back to being disgusting with the smell. It was not fun.
It makes me gag. Like people vomiting will make me vomit.
Well, and then my favorite bit in pretty much all situations is to go, to anyone I'm with, my girlfriend in this case is like, "Oh man, do you feel like I feel like throwing up? I really feel like throwing up. This is making me feel like I'm gonna throw up." She's like, "Fucking stop! I'm really gonna throw up. I get motion sick." I'm like, "Me too. Look, oh god, the fucking boat's wiggling around." Which I do on planes too. Every time the plane like hits something, or when we're landing, I go, I have this really intense feeling like we're gonna die. Like the plane is gonna. I think it's really gonna crash. I think there's something wrong.
You like people do what people on Reddit do, where you're like, "Oh my goodness, I'm an aviation engineer, and this is not normal."
Yeah, that's not normal. That sound is not normal.
Engineer here, like
it's really fun.